1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. 3, 4, better lock your door. 5, 6, grab a crucifix. 7, 8, gonna stay up late. 9, 10, never sleep again. It's time for the last ever Friday Night Shudder podcast special, but obviously be continuing Friday Night Friday. This is a Christmas on Elm Street, and it's coming up right now. So I'm just about to begin. Just worth warning, this is the Blu-ray version, and it's going to be split in 2 parts. So yeah, essentially it's going to be about first half movie, and then it's going to be a break, and then second half movie is going to be a break. Trying to keep these podcast specials different each time, try different things. So, okay, we're going to be starting in 3, 2, 1, I press play. I have my hot chocolate and I have my spoken languages because can't have any sound come out. New Line Cinema, really awesome title there. New Line, very good for these franchises. And we start with Freddy in his old form, walking through the basement, setting up his tools, his weapons, and he's not happy with any of them. You know, the knife doesn't quite fit his fancy, so he gets his glove, and he's gonna. Oh, it's kind of interesting, really, because normally they don't really do the origin of certain things in horror movies until like 3 or 4 movies in, and this one just goes straight up with this is how Freddy made his claws. And you can, Freddy obviously is disgusting, he's a murderer and he's pretty much a paedophile, but he made his own stuff. You know, most slashers just grab stuff off people made. He made this glove. That's pretty ingenuitive. It's evil, but it's ingenuitive. And we get the A Nightmare on Elm Street tagline and the scream. And we're into our first sequence with a blonde-haired debutante running down a wet and murky corridor in a night dress. Piercing down frame. Heather Langenkamp's name appears on screen. She is I really think she's a good actress, and I love the fact that she's getting come back more. A male voice is calling for Tina, and incidentally, I believe this is the woman who's from the Insidious movies, the one who's kind of like the go-between them. So that's good. Lynn Shay, that's it. She's a really good actress. I mean, I don't like Insidious that much, but she's really good. And she screams because a goat runs through frame, and then she laughs, and now she's in Boiler Room, which, if you've never seen this movie before, you won't understand the importance, but this is an iconic location in Frey Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. Also, Merry Christmas, everyone. Merry Christmas if you're listening to this. It's been a good year. It's been a good year. You get Clanky, she's running through. Incidentally, there's one thing I miss about guys like Wes Craven. He knew how to light a horror movie. You know, when he wasn't being bullied by, you know, a couple of obnoxious bullies who South Park rightly make fun of. Really, why the fuck would you... I understand collaboration, but why the fuck would you tell Wes Craven how to make a horror movie? You know? This guy... Shit. Guy invented fucking genre, you know? Not invented fucking genre, that's wrong. But he's made so many iconic movies. Arsehole. Sorry, I flashed back in time by accident because watching this on PlayStation 4, and be honest, I really don't know how to use this DVD player particularly. So I've gone back to 19. You can stay here if you want. It's just, you eventually will catch up because we'll have a break. But you'll have me for once, I'm assuming. Yeah, Wes Craven's was an amazing director. He's up there with George Romero in that. I think Wes Craven made a couple of movies I wasn't a fan of. Like Contact, like that stupid one about people under the stairs, which meant to be a Vietnam analogy, but was just really stupid. But he never made boring movies. You know, like he never made anything boring. He always tried, and if it didn't work, stuff like that curse, that werewolf one he made, which really didn't work. But he just reinvented itself, like Nightmare on Elm Street, and when came back with the sequel, New Nightmare, and then Scream. You know, and then when he sort of got stumbled into being a Scream guy, he made Red Eye. And Red Eye is a really fucking good movie. It's got a great performance by... It's working for two A-list actors, Cillian Murphy and Rachel McAdams. And he gets the most out of them. And Frey gets dropped on Tina, but she wakes up. And we realise that this is doing quite a lot with dream sequences. And Tina assures her ma it's just a dream. And her mum says, oh, some dream judging flat. And her nightgown's torn. Showing a bit of midriff, but not too much because this is a class movie. And the drunk father's sort of like, you're coming back to sack. And mother's like, hold your horses, boy. Apparently, Tina's given choice. Either cut your fingernails or stop dreaming. You have to do one. It's like, her fingernails aren't going to do that. And I cut simply did. Tina grabs the crucifix as we hear those creepy little kids. 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. And we see them. These kids are really creepy. I mean, I think that's kind of the point. But I don't think kids are trying to act creepy. Maybe it's the way Wes Craven frames it. He goes in slow motion. And this feels like a dream sequence at first. But then it shifts out of it. So is Frey mocking? Is Frey interfering with the real weird yet? No, we don't know. And there's Johnny Depp before his scandals. Just quick work on Johnny Depp. I'm not defending him because I think he's done some really fucked up shit and I think he's a messed up human being in general. But, and this isn't to excuse it, I think people going, oh, he can't act. He's like, no, he really, really, really can act. Not in this, but he really can act. And saying he can't is just stupid. Maybe in recent years he hasn't been great, although I thought it's really good in Grindelwald and apparently he's really good in Black Mass. But you go back to even stuff like Sweeney Todd, he's fucking amazing. Such good performance. Anyway, he in this movie is dating Nancy, played by Heather Lankham. And Heather Lankham has a really, really good endearing quality to her. She seems like a very genuine person, you know? And you don't often get that. She seems actually genuine. And it's one thing, I don't think Neve Campbell's a bad actress. I think she did a really good job in Scream. But I think Heather Lankham really gave more of that sense of being an actual person rather than a move character. Like, Neve Campbell Sydney did a really good movie style performance. Heather Lankham does a really good performance in general. But they are different movies, so I don't think you can judge them too harshly. Anyway, Johnny Depp is trying to trick his mum and think he's at Barry's by playing old cassettes with sound effects like planes and stuff like that. Which you don't really do anymore because we don't have like cassette recorders or stereos. But it's kind of weird because I remember when we did. I don't know if current generation does, but hey, if you're under 18, you shouldn't be listening to this anyway. It is quite funny because you have things like car crashes and screams and stuff like that. And gunfire and explosions, as they're all laughing, it's pretty funny. And he's like, shit, yeah, I should call police. And then says, oh no, apparently some neighbours having a fight. Wes Craven, pretty good sense of humour. Wes Craven wrote this script. I think that's one of the things people forget about Wes Craven. He's a really, really good writer. A genuinely good writer. Very effective writer in his own right. Which made perfect for working with people like Kevin Williams. Because script for Scream is really good. But Wes Craven did pour a lot of that out. Because originally ended Randy and Sydney going out, which was fucking ludicrous back then. It's even worse now because Randy would totally be into. I hate those terms, but he would be. And now our characters are discussing they dreamed about a guy named Fred. So, and he scraped his finger knives. He made a horrible sound. That sounds many sequels, Nancy. It's like... It wasn't like that, but I have no sound, so I have to guess. John Depp, I'm just going to call him John Depp, comes over with a bowl of Cheetos. It's funny that I'm calling one guy who's had a full-blown career by his actor's name, and the other two by his character's names. If I don't remember his fucking name, it's Rick or something, but John Depp's funnier. Hate laughing on about this, but I would recommend listen to this podcast, enjoy it, but definitely recommend you guys going. Anyone who gets a chance goes see this at Prince Charles Cinema in London. It's an amazing cinema. And hey, 767 hits as of time for recording part 1. I'm going to do part 1 today, part 1 tomorrow, and then it all goes up tomorrow evening. Mostly because I feel like I'm really still knackered, you know? And also, I think splitting in parts is better because I think I love podcasts and I love them. I love listening to podcasts, but I feel like they do too much of a too much in one go. It'd be better if they split them up. But again, it doesn't necessarily split up on programs that aren't Anchor. So anyway, John Depp's outside and he's threatening. He's saying "chow." Why is he saying "chow to chow"? That's pretty racist. He's ambushed by Jock Man, who's got a magazine in his pocket and is wearing a leather jacket. Oh, it's Rod. I love names they gave characters in the 80s, like Rod. Like, that just says, oh, he's a big dick. Rod wants to fuck Tina. And Tina's like, what? And then Rod's sort of like, hey, I have a thing. A scrapey thing. Then throws it and goes, hey, are we going to have an orgy? And he threatens John Depp with a knife, which is probably not the first time that happened. Oh, his name's Glenn. I'm going to call him John Depp anyway. And they're all discussing Fred. And Rod's like, hey, me and Tina are going fuck because her mum's not home. And Tina's like, well, okay, I guess I just have to go with it. Apparently they're going to do it in her mum's bed. And Tina's like, sure. Like that, didn't give choice. And Johnny Depp and Nancy are clearly the more chaste couple, which is kind of amusing. Tina's scared of being left alone with Rod, and she giggles, and I'm like, that's weird. Chase kiss between John Depp and Nancy. She's like, not now, and he's like, oh, okay. They got to protect Tina. And he's a little upset, but not too much. But he does point out it's a stupid nightmare. Don't criticise the movie. And Tina and Nancy reminds him, well, we dream the same thing, so, no, I think it's not stupid, it's scary. This movie's moving like a rocket, by the way. That's what I really like about 80s movies. This whole thing's 90 minutes long. They're not wasting time, which is good. Rod and Tina are having that sort of pale 80s teen sex, where there's no real enthusiasm about it. And John Depp is listening to it and he's getting worked up. Oh God, oh Rod, oh God, oh Rod, what great dialogue. And John Depp is his blue balls and talks about how morality sucks. Rod grunts and climbs off Tina and makes say, I need a sandwich face. Tina smiles but doesn't look happy. Too happy, but does say just something about Rod she likes big dick. Apparently Jungle Man fits Jane. That dialogue hasn't aged well. Tina says they won't fight again, and Rod suddenly starts becoming a genuine good guy, and then says, oh, we'll have no more nightmares then. And find out he had a nightmare too. And points out guys have nightmares too, you know, don't be sexist. He rolls over, goes to sleep, and we cut to a shot of crucifix as it falls down on Nancy. And she gets up and she looks at it a second and thinks, Jesus, you died for our sins. Just like Mel Gibson. And she puts it on her chest and then goes to sleep. And we cut outside of the 1428 Elm Street house. And we pan up and up and up. And I imagine if I had music on, this would be a really tense scene, but I don't. So it's still tense, but it's not as tense as it could be. Tina waits in bed. And she thanks fucking and goes back to sleep. And she hears a pebble clattering. And she wakes up again and it's like, what? Rod, you go and sort that out? And he's just snoring because he's spent. Here's more pebbles clattering. And she looks at window and she looks at window and she puts on her jammies. And she looks out window and there's no one there. Huh. Oh no, a pebble hits window and she looks out. There's no one there. Enough pebble clatters. It's sort of like, who could possibly be throwing that? And it's shattered the window. Or it's left a hole in window, spider web crack. Don't touch it, Nancy. She looks very, very worried. You know? Ask who they think they are. Well, who are you talking to? You can't. There's no one out there. And also, volume doesn't travel that far. Now get famous shot of Freddy trying to burst through the wall and get Nancy. His hand is scraping up to try and break through, and it's a really cool image. And it's actually his entire body is trying to push through the wall. It's a really cool shot. It's practical, but Nancy wakes up and sees there's nothing there. She must have dreamed the start of it. She hugs crucifix Jesus and says, "Jesus, protect me like you give me Gibson." And she puts it back on the wall because she thinks they'll stop Freddy. And that's something they never really get at in sequels. Like, could God stop Freddy? And I know Wishmaster series goes to shit, but one of the fucking funniest things I've ever seen is the Archangel Michael come down from heaven to fight the Dijin and getting fucked up. That was hilarious. I cannot wait to cover the Wishmaster movies. Wishmaster, I think that's Wishmaster 3. Wishmaster 2 is the one where he's in prison. God, they're wonderfully shit. They're so shit. Tina goes downstairs in her shirt, or Rod's shirt, and she's walking along. She must be freezing. She's got like nothing on her legs. And she sees a creepy ass garden, but nothing untoward. She asks what's a happy hat, but no one responds, so she goes walking. And walking and walking. You have to give Wes Craven, he's not sexualising any of these characters. They are sexual characters in terms of like Rod and Tina had sex and John Depp wants to have sex with Tina, with Nancy, and probably Tina too. And we see Fred silhouetted. Very classy shot. And there he is, Fred! And at British Showers, everyone clapped at this point. She says shit, and his arms grow, and he gives that classic Robert Englund grin of, I'm having a whale of time. And he scrapes his fingers along the wall, fingernails along the wall. She says, please, God. And he says, this is God. And he does that shit Robert Englund, Freddy Krueger dad run. It's so shit. And he's in front of her. And she runs the other way. And she runs to a gate and shuts it and runs for her life. I love how just slightly shit and vaudevillian Freddy Krueger is. Rob Englund appears and he Freddy Krueger and stretch out his hand and he cuts one of his fingers off and green goo liquid runs out of it and he gives a flashy cheeky grin. And he runs after her again with one finger missing on his hand, grabs her. It's like, you're coming for me. And Tina's like, no, please. And she knocks Freddy down and they fall under a table. And Freddy, she grabs his face and rips his face off. It's a Freddy mask. Oh no. And she's trying to wake up, but she can't. Freddy's under covers with her. Oh shit. And Rod is trying to figure out what's going on. So Rod pulls back covers and it's just Tina on her own. And she's being tapped by a dream. In her dream, she's being tapped. Oh no, oh man, the cuts on her chest, that is really, really gory. And she's pulled into the air, bleeding profusely from her gut. And Rod's like, what's going on? Oh, she smashes in Rod and it's like whiteys and knocks him into the wall. And Tina's pulled up wall, bleeding everywhere. She's pulled up to the ceiling. He's begging for Rod to save her, but he can't because he doesn't know what the fuck's going on. And she's pulled and pulled and pulled by Freddy, who's walking on the ceiling like a spider. She reaches out for Rod, And then Nancy wakes up and Tina's screaming in agony and she falls onto bed and oh man, she's dead. There's blood everywhere. Blood on Rod. And if you remember, Rod earlier on was boasting he had a knife. See, it's part of what I like about 80s Wes Craven particularly. Some great foreshadowing. They burst in the room and Tina is dead and there's blood everywhere. And John Depp's like, I can't be here, I can't be here, I can't be here. And quickly bats out of the room. Nancy's like, what the fuck? She looks at window and Rod's gone. And this is what I really love about 80s Wes Craven in particular. There's so many layers because Tina said jokingly, Rod, don't leave me alone for this lunatic. Rod threatened John Depp's character with a knife. You know, and as far as Nancy and John Depp's character know, Tina and Rod had a terse relationship. So it all points to Rod, logically. Despite the fact that he literally could not have done it because of the nature of it, it points to Rod. Anyway, we cut to the police station where Nancy's father, played by great John Saxon's there, with her mother. And her mother is one of the most brilliantly weird performances of all time. She's clearly going for a woman who's drunk all the time. But F.M.S. is doing very measured, apart from her and Freddy Krueger, is doing very measured, matter-of-fact performances. John Saxon's the beating heart of this movie. He's really, really good in this movie. And in terms of generally good. And Mother is, I'm guessing it's related to twists later on with Freddy Krueger revealing what he did to all kids. But she is so weird and so traumatized and so drunk. Why don't you think murder is serious? Seriously, like, I can't stop laughing at that actress. But at the same time, it's laughter because of how off-kilter it is. Like, for a second, I first time saw this, I thought she was working with Freddy. No. Well, she's not, but... Seriously, 20 minutes of this movie gone already. This is so good. I miss watching shit like this. And this is why Friday Night Fright is going to be so much better in season 2 than Friday Night Shadow was in season 1. It's going to have good movies. You know? Like, Friday Night Shadow, partly it's good for me because I was watching all bad movies first. And I'm going to watch the good movies they have to offer. But this is a fucking beast of a movie. Cut to Tina being carried away and they show her bare bloody arm on TV. That's so weird. Why would you do that? Apparently, news report reveals it's a razor blade that murdered. Nancy's mum says that she's tossed and turned and she shouldn't go to school today. And so, I've got to go to school, Mother, otherwise I'll sit up there and go crazy. Did you sleep? She says she'll sleep in Stayhall. Nancy's mother is like, you got to stop drinking coffee. You got to come home. She's like, I'll come home. And they bond. I like the fact they're not portraying either parents being shit. There's actually a decent conflicted relationship. Because the truth is, half time you love your parents and half time you really get irritated with them. But you don't, it's not one extreme all the time, you know? Like, she might be drunk, but there's still some affection there, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, for some reason, a weird government agent is watching Nancy, and she looks back, and a fucking G-man, and there's no one there. What the fuck was that about? Rod grabs, I guess it's cops watching after Nancy. Rod grabs Nancy and pulls her into an embankment, says he's not going to hurt her. And she's wondering what's going on. He says they're going to murder me. And Nancy's like, no, he won't. And Rod's like, you think I murdered Tina with a razor blade? He assures Nancy he didn't do it. And says there was somebody else there. But she says the door's locked from inside. It's a locked door mystery. I love locked door mysteries, by the way. So then Rod gets angry at Nancy and her dad gets drop on him. Nancy steps in the way. There's a bunch of cops grab Rod. And yes, that's what I really love about this movie. From John Saxon's father of Nancy's perspective, I'm going to call him John Saxon, by the way, this guy's just threatening his daughter and is a murder suspect. So obviously he's going to arrest him first and they find Switchblade. Rod Stewart says he didn't kill anyone. And John Saxon's cat, Nancy says that he used her. And he says, why were you going to school in the first place? Actually, what I'm talking about, no. Lin Shaye wasn't Tina. Lin Shaye's in this scene. What the fuck am I talking about? She plays the teacher. And she does a really good job. She's talking about cankers and she's relating plot to this. She's talking about how Hamlet had to continually probe and dig, which is true. Just like gravediggers. And she's relating it to this, saying that the gravediggers try and get beneath the surface. And now she's talking about Julius Caesar. And says, John, you finish this shit. John's wearing a magnificent Hawaiian shirt, by the way. Is this meant to be the guy from the second one? It looks very similar. Shakespeare, when you're a kid, you can't really appreciate Shakespeare. When you're older, oh man, he was a fucking man. Shakespeare is so good. I just think it's a language thing. It's very difficult when you're a kid because you haven't lived really. When you've lived a bit more, you really get in Shakespeare. Anyway, Nancy goes to sleep and Tina's sat right next to her in a boy bag, dripping blood. It's like, Nancy, come with me down to Fraggle Rock. There you get your cares away, down at Fraggle Rock. Down at Fraggle Rock. And there's a poor black viscous liquid leaning outside. John's like, I don't know what the fuck Shakespeare is, man, but I'm going to read it boringly anyway. Starts talking about dreams. Nancy gets up and leaves the classroom and no one pays any attention to her. So they're all staring straight ahead. And his point, someone brought up this in review of the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. That what he didn't like about it was the dream sequences were really colour-coded. Like, you know when it's green, it's a dream sequence. But here it's not. It's very, very much as possible shot like it normally be. So you don't know at first it's dream sequence. Kind of like Chris Nolan's Inception. This obviously inspired Chris Nolan's Inception. You know, and actually on that score, next Friday in the aftermath. Oh shit! Nancy pushes over someone who's just like Freddy Krueger, black pigtails in Freddy Krueger top, and incidentally that looks very much like Freddy Krueger's daughter in the late movie, and it's Freddy pretending to be a woman. Freddy's gender fluid. Yeah, so next week on the series finale of Friday Night Shadow and season finale of podcast in general, I'm going to do a Let's Make Up a Movie on Freddy Krueger. It's going to be the sequel to bear with me, I need to remember. Oh, wait a sec. It's going to be a sequel to Freddy's Dead, The New Nightmare. And Freddy's Dead, whatever one that is. And essentially how it's going to work is it's going to be set in present day. And it's going to be quite a cool idea. It's an idea I had a long time ago. I tried to pitch it to various websites as a sort of fan fiction idea. And I was turned down because, hey, you know, that's what's great about the internet. Even shit you don't own, other people can tell you, no, you're not doing that on our website. Like, you don't own it. It's so stupid. Anyway, get a great close-up shot of evil, insidious Freddy as Nancy's in his workshop. And she's staring. And Frey emerges. And Robert Englund is so vaudevillian. Even in this movie, he's camp. It's great. He's cutting into himself and green goo and gizzards is stocking out. And it's like he's entering into this relatively realistic universe. He's this weird camp villain from like the oldie days. But it works because like you get cats like Jason and Mike Myers who are very serious, very matter of fact. Freddy just wants to perform. Rob Englund is really brilliantly over the top. Which does make me wish we would get that crossover movie of all slashers. Like Mike Myers and Jason and Chuck and Freddy and Pinhead, because they'd all play off each other brilliantly. They really would, you know? They all have such different personalities. I mean, maybe Jason and Mike Myers are similar in some regard. You know, but even Jason's got something like conflictedness to him. Mike Myers doesn't really have that. Anyway, we get Freddy saying, "Come to Freddy, it's not a dream." Nancy's like, "God damn you!" Freddy starts putting his tongue out, and Nancy burns her hand. And, oh shit! She burns her arm, and oh man, she's fucking in so much pain and screaming. She wakes up, and she is told by the teacher, "You need to go. You need to go and see the therapist." And you can see, even though it's not dwelled upon, the burn marks on Nancy's arm. That's really cool. Nancy says she's going to go straight home, and teacher's like, "You'll need a hall pass." And she's really rattled and says, "We'll get on with it." Fuck it, I'm going to say same character. She's playing the same character she does in Insidious, because why not? I love the fact that don't always horror movies take place in the same universe. It's one of the things I like about Friday 13th game. If you can collect all tapes, it reveals that Nightmare on Elm Street and Halloween and Hatchet take place in the same universe, which makes sense because they're all weird. It's full of weird shit, but it's the kind of weird shit very few people would believe. That's not a very good effect of a burn on Nancy's arm, by the way. I like the effort, but it's pretty shoddy. But that's the only really poor effect I can think of in this movie. We're at the police station where Nancy's talking to Rod, and she's asking what happened. He says, I told you, it was dark." Well, it wasn't very dark, so he's lying about that. But he's sure he saw someone uncovers with her, and she's sort of like, "How could someone be uncovers without you knowing?" He's like, "How the fuck do I know? Maybe I was drunk. Maybe I just thought I'd let Tina get fucked properly for once." Rod doesn't know what you look like because he couldn't actually see anything. So his story's full of holes. Nancy's like, "Well, how the fuck do you know someone's there then?" It's like, "Because someone cut her while I watched." And she's like, "You watched?" So even he's not entirely convinced. He knows what he saw, but he didn't see very much. So now Rod's going in detail on how he thinks Tina died, and Nancy starts twigging that shit. 4 knives, invisible ones. Sounds like Freddy. Rod says he probably could have saved her if he'd moved sooner. But he thought it was just another nightmare, a nightmare on Elm Street, like one he had the night before. And Rod's like explaining about Freddy. And they're sharing information quite quick. This is a really pacey movie. He's talking about man with knives for fingers. And Nancy starts realising they all dream the same thing, and that's impossible unless Freddy's alive. Nancy doesn't think that Rod did it, but she won't testify to that fact in court. She screams to let her that she wants to be let out. Who let her in the first place? You know? Rod's like, "I'm so fucked. Why has he still got blood on his fingers? Wouldn't they wash that off when they arrested him? Because he's wearing new clothes." Nancy's doing the 1, 2 phrase "coming for you" rhyme, and she's having a bath, and that's kind of adorable. Because again, it's this thing. Normally, in movies like this, the characters are very sexualized in situations like this. She just looks like a normal person having a bath. She looks very relaxed. She's got a really awesome pillow behind her head, and she's just sort of like chilling out, bobbles up to her neck. And gotta give Wes Craven this. I imagine all of these actors and actresses feel very comfortable making this movie. And then, of course, Freddy's gloved hand emerges from beneath the water, right near her vagina. She can't see, obviously. And the hand reaches for her and then ducks beneath water as Nancy wakes up. And Nancy's like, "Mum, go away." And Nancy's mother is sort of like, "You could drown." Nancy's like, "Oh, fuck off." And she's like, "I got hot water for you." She's like, "Oh, gross. I want warm dairy products." Nancy's a bit of an arsehole. Nancy drifts off again. How do you drown in bath? You have to put some effort in drowning bath like that, you know? Anyway, she's drifting off again. And she's drifting off, and drifting off, and drifting off, drifting off. And, oh no, she's underwater. She's underwater. Frey's laughing. She's all like, this is how you drown in bathtub. She comes up to the surface and screams for assistance. But none's coming. She falls beneath water again. And she's struggling out. Nancy's mum's sort of like, what's going on? And Nancy's like, assistance. And Nancy's mum is like, as the water's steaming. Nancy's mum is trying to break in. And she's using an intuitive thing. She's picking the door. She runs in and Nancy's wrapped in towel. She's freaking out. Nancy's mother. This is the point where you start realising Nancy's mum knows something she's not saying about. So that's quite cool. She assures her mother she's okay. And her mother's like, I'll turn down bed. You need to go to sleep. So I love this idea that at first performance is really overlooked. And it's still over top when you realise that a twist. But at the same time, for now, it's really cool. Because, when you go back in retrospect, it's really cool. Because there's a lot more to it than you know. It's a very clever... It's like an example for its brilliance. So Nancy picks up a starter whack, which is like a Pro Plus for the 80s. But it doesn't work because she can't stay awake because, TV in the 80s is so shit. That's why you couldn't really make this exact movie nowadays. And they're watching Eve Dead on TV, which is brilliant. I'll keep you awake. Or is this Eve Dead 2? I think it might be Eve Dead 2. Anyway, Nancy is... no, it's Eve Dead. Cause Eve Dead 2. No, it must be Eve Dead 2. Anyway, Nancy is very tired, but she doesn't want to go to sleep. And you couldn't make that move nowadays. There's so much shit they have, like iPads and thousands of channels and Netflix and that. You never run out of things to do. John Depp climbs up to a window, and we get revealed that he lives across the street, which comes in play later. Again, very clever script. So he climbs in her window, and this is a foreshadowing of a similar scene in Scream. Which is quite cool. Scream's a really good script, by the way. I think Scream's a masterpiece. Oh, I love Scream. So they discuss whether John Depp had any dreams last night. He's like, I slept like a fucking rock. And my Blu-ray is flickering, which I'm not even angry about. I'm quite cool with, because it means that it's got the feel of the old VHS tapes, which is good. So Nancy says she's going to go to sleep and look for... And this is the point where you realise this isn't just a typical 80s slasher heroine. This is a fucking badass. She, without any training, is going to go to sleep to try and track down Freddy Krueger. And she's trusting Johnny Depp to wake her up. This woman is one of the... Nancy is one of the best horror heroines of all time. This is not a weeping willow. This is not a damsel in distress. This is a motherfucking badass who knows that she's going up against a scary guy. She doesn't know anything other than that, but she's literally going into his territory to track him down, to bring something back to prove that he exists, and to maybe get an idea of how to stop him. I love this character. I love this franchise, and I'm not being hyperbolic when I say this literally, even 38 minutes in, if you're watching this and you're not thinking this is one of the best horror movies of all time, I don't care if it's aged much, I don't care if it's a bit goofier than it was at the time, This is fucking peerless horror movie making. And even better, it's not only peerless, this is shit made for the masses. And it's still a really, really, really fucking good script. Nancy, oh, that's so clever. She's going to find Freddy. She calls out, and Johnny Depp's in dream. That's brilliant, because she thinks that he's in her subconscious saying that. Like he's in a real way saying that to her, and she's picking up in dream. No, he's in dream with her. But you don't officially find out for a few more minutes. That is so good. Wes Craven, just, man, like this is going to be a fun series of movies to recap over the next batch of years. God, I fucking love this movie. So officially we're at chapter 13 out of 26. I'm at 40. The count for this recording is 40 minutes. The count for what I'm watching is 38:58. So I'm going to go another 7 or so minutes, and then I'll stop. Then I'll pick up later on. Nancy is walking towards the school. She's starting to get the sense that Freddy has roots there. Or Fred, as they call him. Because they don't know about Freddy yet. Fred Crew. Fred Crew of the Crew Massive, you know. She's investigating the school. Oh no, she's gone to jail and rocked fast asleep. And Fred walks in. Oh shit. She's begging for Johnny. She's calling for Johnny Depp, but he doesn't do anything. She's looking, and somehow she's entered Rod Stream. Freddy Krueger phases through the bars. She starts smashing on the windows, and then he looks up and sees her. And Freddy, oh, he's got an audience. Nancy's begging Glenn to wake her up. And now Freddy's disappeared. And Rod's dozing. Tina appears and says, Nancy, look at me, don't look at Freddy. Nancy's freaking out because Tina's bleeding from the eyes, and she throws up a lizard or scorpion of some kind. Oh, and there's snakes and slugs everywhere. Oh, that's rank. Slugs are worse. Nancy's begging Glenn to wake her up, but Glenn might be asleep. She hears a voice, and Freddy's runs after her. Does the Freddy run again? The hilariously shit run. So bad. And she's run into 142 Elm Street. And she bursts inside and she shuts the door behind her. And she runs upstairs. And then Foot goes through the stairs because the stairs are made of, sludge. It's such a cool effect. And she can't get upstairs. Freddy smashes through the door wearing a weird mask. And she's trying to go upstairs. He takes off the mask and there's some more. She manages to go upstairs and runs for the door, opens it, shuts the door, and Glenn's asleep. And she begs Glenn to wake up. And she says this is a dream, this isn't real life. As Freddy jumps through the door on a recoil effect, grabs her and tries to stab her, but she's fended him off. She's begging to be woken up, and she's fighting Freddy with all her might, but he's getting dropped with his finger gloves. He picks her up, raises her in the air, and he's about to stab her. Oh shit, this is it. She pushes him away, and she grabs a pillow, but Freddy starts hacking pillow bits, and there's bits of pillow and fluff everywhere. And he jumps on her. It's just, Freddy's so shit. And he jumps. He could have get to the end point, but he's like, no, her alarm's going off. And she wakes up and Glenn's awake too. He's woken up by alarms, and she's fucking pissed. Because this douchebag Glenn didn't wake her up in time. What an arsehole. What an absolute piece of shit. She calls John Depp a bastard. And he's like, what I do? She's like, I asked you to do one thing to watch me. You couldn't even do that. And he's like, oh man, what the fuck, man? She says he fell asleep. He's a shithead. Nancy's mum calls out to Nancy as John Depp makes his escape through window, which probably happens a lot in real life. He hides on the roof as Nancy's mum walks in. And she's like, the fuck is going on? Nancy, what's going on? Are you okay? She's like, it's just a dream. Back fuck up, Mum. And Nancy's mum, who clearly wasn't sleeping, looked pissed as shit. She's like, okay, well, I will go then. And I am going to call time on that for now. So I'm stopping at... So we picked up from 43 minutes in, and eventually... And yep, they rung up steps to police station, Tina and Nancy and John Depp. And they asked the police officer, hey, where's our friend? And he's like, he's somewhere, and it's very detailed. So turns out he's something stirring inside his bed. Ooh, the sheets are turning. Ooh, maybe he's going to be hanged. Rod's going to get hung. They're going to hang Rod. They're going to hang Big Johnson. And yes, John Depp's saying, you have to believe there's something strange going on here. And Detective Saxon's like, oh God. It's strange because there's an unsolved murder and my daughter's caught up with it. Oh no. He asks what they're doing there. It's like, well, no, fuck, surely you know. Not logical. He says Nancy should go to bed. And then his Lieutenant Loco, his partner, says he's asleep. Let him be. Let Rod sleep. But then we see the little bit of bedding wrap around his neck. And like Nancy screams, just go and look at him, John Saxon. He's like, don't break character, Nancy. So he says Garcia? I call him Lieutenant Loco's joke, but his name's actually Garcia. But he doesn't know where he put the keys. This is not a very well-run police station. Rod wakes up before the ropes can go around his neck. And surely that breaks the immersion, because if Frey can only interfere with dreams, then how is he doing this? Because Rod's awake, unless he's asleep and dreaming he's awake. I suppose possibly. He begs for assistance, but no one's coming, because why would it? And we're going to get hung Rod. A humbucks, if you will. And Garcia's like, oh man, Jesus, what's happening? And John Saxon runs up with him, and they open bars and they try and save Rod's life, but he's dead already. He's only hung up for like 2 seconds. Pretty quick, unless his neck broke. No one's checking his pulse. Nancy's freaking out. John Depp's like, man, this first guy I'm going to see hang himself. Oh, that's really harsh. I apologise, John Depp, if he's listening. And Rod is... No, finally someone checks his pulse, but nope, he's dead. And John Saxon's like, wait, what? He's like, oh man, that sucks. And Rod's actor droops his neck to symbolise that he's actually dead. It's a funeral already. That's quick. So it's either a week after. It has to be at least a week after, surely. But that raises the question. They got the funeral set up really quickly. And that implies that nothing happened other than this week past. It's quite strange. Unless, is this possibly a dream sequence? We see Rod's parents who look very confused. And Priest says those who live by his sword die by his sword. Is that a penis reference? So I think this might be a dream sequence. Nancy starts looking around and seeing that the priest is talking lots of shit. And now she's sat on steps, so I guess it wasn't a dream sequence. The more you know, eh? Nancy's mother says that we have to go home and I have to go to the pub. John Saxon's nearby with a cigarette, trying to look cool and failing. Nancy says, there's still a killer on the loose, and John Saxon's like, you were saying somebody else murdered Tina? Who? Give us a sum. Because they say the cops aren't going to find him. Apparently he's burned. She thinks it's someone burned and wears a weird hat, and John Saxon's like, oh shit, that narrows it right down. Incidentally, I saw Aquaman. Aquaman's really good. And so is this, but Aquaman's particularly good. John Saxon's like, you better keep that woman under control. And Nancy's mother's like, I've got some better. I'm going to get her some assistance. And then they get in the car to drive off. So, Merry Christmas, everyone, by the way. I have to say it now, because the episode I recorded for Tuesday, I don't say Merry Christmas. Despite the fact it airs on Christmas Day. So we're at the Katja Institute in the study of sleep disorders. And Nancy's like, couldn't you give me drugs? And they're like, everyone's got a dream, young lady. If you don't dream, You go. Pop, pop. It's a very fine medical diagnosis there. The alcoholic is asking Nancy to trust him, and Nancy's like, it's not you I don't trust, and that should be, it's not you I don't trust, because why would you trust an alcoholic? When Nancy's falling in sleep, with all the electrodes put on head, and her mother kisses her head gently, and they're like, Nancy, just go to sleep. We'll be in the next room. We'll have to assume nothing will happen to you, that you'll need a trained nurse nearby for. Nancy somehow falls asleep. It's weird, because I remember I was on blood pressure monitor once, and it's really difficult with all that shit hooked up to you to actually relax. The alcoholic says, well, she thinks her dream's real, and the doctor goes, well, there's no signs of pathology in her ECG. What? He says, well, apparently she's gone through 2 days of hell. What? But Rod's just buried, so surely it's been longer than 2 days. Unless they immediately have funeral, which seems very strange. The doctor says that she's asleep now because, we need a medical perspective on someone being asleep. And now we get a description of what dreams are. They're mysteries, incredible body hocus pocus. Truth is, we still don't know what they are, where they come from. I don't think that's true, and I don't think that's true in the 80s. That's one part where Wes Craven falls down a bit on. I don't think the science of this works out. And again, it isn't science, really. Okay, now Nancy's going into deep sleep, which is serious business. Apparently heart rate's a little high, but it's just due to anxiety. How do you know? Otherwise she's relaxed, but she's anxious and has high heart rate. Apparently she could dream at any time now. These sort of bits always remind me of the bits from movies like Psycho, where they try to explain what's going on, and the psychology behind it, and it just falls apart. Apparently she's definitely dreaming now. It's a good one too. Typical dream parameter. How is it a good one if it's typical? The nightmare now would be plus or minus 5 or 6. That's not very precise. She's about 3. Drops to... Oh no, she's going into nightmare. She starts stirring as we hear water dripping. Doctor's like, what's going on, doctor? Says Nancy's mother. And doctor's like, what? I don't know. Fuck. He doesn't know. He's never... She's going too deep. They need to give her a kick. He runs in room. He's like... And as Nancy starts screaming, sort of like, wake her up, Nancy, it's mum. And they go give her an injection. It's really weird people. Oh, her hair's white. And they all find that a little strange, but why would you... She stabs jabs the doctor, and she's got cuts on her arms. They're asked what happened, and she's like, my hair's white and I'm bleeding from the arm. Surely now you'll believe that this is not quite within realms of modern medicine or science. Apparently she brought something. She's got a hat, and everyone's sort of like, well, where'd you get that hat? She was asleep. What do you mean? And then Nancy Muff freaks out when she's told that Nancy took it off Freddie's head. So that must mean Freddy doesn't have a hat in any of the other scenes in Dreamwave, right? John Saxon and Nancy's mother Marge are talking about the hat, and so Nancy's mother is sort of like, I found the hat. She gave me a hat, and she didn't have a hat before. And she's really pissed. Nancy walks in, and Marge, Nancy's mother, is like, Nancy, don't drink so much coffee. Addiction's bad. And Nancy's like, you're an alcoholic. And also, you didn't sleep all last night, did you? Doctor says that Nancy has to sleep. And Nancy's sort of like, well, I don't want to sleep. And they argue over the means of sleep and put personification of what crazy is. Nancy asks if hat can be examined. And her mother's like, no, I threw it away. It's like, I don't know where you found it or what you're trying to prove. She was asleep and she had a hat in her hands after she woke up. I get willful suspension of disbelief, but really, why do you ask? Like, you knew she didn't have the hat when she arrived there. Where was she going to hide it? Up her ass? Up her vagina? Like, clean hat, and the hat's there, which you lied you didn't throw away. Nancy's like, he has his name written in it. Fred Krueger, Mum. His mum wrote his name in the hat. Fred Krueger. Fred Krueger. Who is that, Mother? If you do, because if you know, because you know you must tell me. Nancy's mother's like, trust me for once, please. You'll feel better when you get some sleep. I think she's working for the sleep agency. Nancy shows off her safe harm wounds and says, does this make you feel better? Or maybe I should grab that bottle and drink. She's playing alcohol card. Oh, this is tense. And that slap across the face. And Nancy's mother says, Fred Krueger can't come after you, honey. He's dead. Believe me. I know he's dead. He's dead. And Nancy's like, you knew about Fred? You knew about Miss Krueger? Oh man, she's pissed now. She's like, you're acting like I made it up. And she's like, Nancy, you're sick. You're sick. There's something wrong with you. You're imagining things. You just told her he was real. Oh. She grabs the alcohol. Oh, Nancy smashes it on the ground. And her mother's like, but I don't want to lick up shards of broken glass again. It says, Nancy, it's just a nightmare on Elm Street. Tile drop, y'all. Oh, man. This has been done last minute again. Jesus, I'm so unorganised with the podcast. John Depp says whenever he gets nervous, he eats. He must have eaten a lot over the last couple of years. And he's got a giant bag of takeout food, which they're not going to eat. They start talking about Balinese wall. What? Apparently they have a system that they call dream abilities. Do you have nightmare, for instance, like falling, right? Question mark. Right? With ... Instead of screaming and getting all nuts ... You say, okay, I'm going to make up my mind ... And I fall into a magic place. Maybe it's something special, like a poem or a song. Sorry, how would you fall into a poem or a song, dumbass? He's saying that you wake up and write down whether you dreamed, and that's how literature was invented, which is not true. Apparently, if you turn back on a monster, it stops existing. And so, like, that sounds like the shit parents tell you about when you be bullied. Like, oh, if you put your back, if you don't want to bullying, it'll stop. It's like, yeah, kinda. Anyway, John Depp shows a book called Booby Traps, and I don't think Nancy wants to read that book. Oh no, she shows him a book, but he doesn't want to read it. Well, what? That was a really wonderful scene, because neither of them paid any attention to the other, and it didn't really go anywhere. Something not as peerless, I thought. Nancy walks up to her house and sees bars on the window. On windows plural. She tries to rip them off, but they're bars, Nancy. You can't rip them off. You're barred. Man, I can't wait to have some fish finger sandwiches in a bit. Mother, says Nancy, as her mother is pissed as shit and trying to smoke a cigarette and failing. Nancy asks about bars and her mother's like, well, security, because of, Fred, because of Fred Krueger. Her mother's like, come down to the cellar with me, I'll talk. If I was Nancy, I would not go into the cellar of that woman. She looks pissed as shit. In fact, she can get to the cellar is amazing. She shows Nancy the old boiler and kneels by it. Nancy approaches, very earnest, and her mother starts explaining about Fred Krueger. He was a fearful child murderer who murdered at least 20 kids in the neighborhood, kids we all knew. She's got an exposition dump, Nancy. It drove them crazy, apparently, when they didn't know what it was, or who it was, but it's even worse after they caught him. And she pulls out his tools! Fred's tools! Apparently, lawyers got fat and judges got famous, but somebody forgot to sign search warrant in the right place. And Crew goes free just like that. That's not entirely how it works. But apparently, they tracked him down after Fred was let out and found him in an old abandoned boiler room where he used to take his kids. And they took some gasoline. Holy shit, not Fred. They murdered Fred. They poured it all around the place, made trails out the door. Fred's dead? Drop dead Fred. Poor Fred Krueger. Not that way. Not that way. They burned him alive and turned him into a fucking dream monster. Apparently Marcy's like, it's okay, he's dead, honey. Mummy murdered him and took his knives. Well, that'll come in play later on. Nancy's like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? You ever think that maybe he's tethered to life is those knives? John Depp is chilling out watching a TV while listening to music, which, you know, as you do, on a different device. And he's wearing a midriff exposing top. What? The 80s were weird for fashion. So her and John Depp and Nancy look each other through windows like a poor man's Romeo and Juliet and discuss the fact that she looks like Princess of Zenda. I don't know what the fuck that means. Apparently, record for staying awake is 11 days. And they're going to play a game with Fred. John Depp says, well, why would Fred want to murder me? And she's like, well, don't ask. She wants assistance nailing Fred when he's, whoa. You don't want to nail Fred. You don't know what he's got. He bleeds green blood, green gooey liquid. He chops off his fingers, probably got a number of nasty venereal diseases. I'd not go left, I'd need Nancy. Oh, they love each other. Oh, well, he loves her. She wants him to beat up Fred when she pulls him out. Whack the fucker. Well, that sounds fun. As he's a jockey, has baseball bat or something like that. This I quite like, because I like the fact that they're being proactive and doing shit now. Like, you see a lot of horror movies and they're not proactive and they're stupid at the same time. This one seems to be a bit better because it's positioning that these characters are smart and they're using logic rather than just being dum-dums, I guess, for lack of a better word. Because in a lot of horror movies, they don't even know what the bad guy is to like last 10 minutes. In this one, they're actually doing some Home Alone shit, which is quite cool. And when John Depp, like a dumbass, puts his headphones back on and turns the TV back on, I never turned them off in the first place. Nancy looks at a photo of Tina, her, Johnny Depp and Rod in better days. Or black and white days. Why's the photo in black and white? And why'd you have coffee maker on top for TV, you dumbass Nancy? She rubs her neck as her mother tries to... Oh no, Glenn's mother, John Depp's mother is like, Johnny, are you okay? And he's fast asleep. And she's like, oh, thank God. And she turns the TV off and goes, you're wasting fucking electricity. As he jumps with starting. So like, what the fuck? She points out the logic flaw and listening to TV and radios at the same time. And he's like, oh, I wasn't watching TV. I wasn't listening to TV. I was watching it. Miss News America. Well, how can you hear what she's going to say? And he's like, who gives a fuck what she says? And his mum's like, don't be such a smart guy, which is a lesson John Depp learned over the next 20 or so years. Sorry, I drifted off for a sec there. This is actually a pretty good scene. I like, when give supporting characters, his mother's only in scene for a few minutes, only in the movie for a few minutes, but give her some stuff to do. It's quite cool. Marcy's drugged the shit out of Nancy. What an arsehole. Although if there's anyone who knows about drugs that'll knock you out, it's an alcoholic. Single mum in suburbia who looks every inch of 45. And that's because of makeup and that, and the acting. The fact that they're treating all of these people, they don't do it in late movies, they really sexualise the hell out of some of the characters. But in this one, Wes Craven's really downplaying it. And when Nancy reveals her con, she was never actually asleep, she was faking it. All that sneaky Nancy. She's setting up an alarm clock and she's drinking as much coffee as possible. And she's still bleeding through her bandage. State of the fucking bandage there, Jesus Christ. And she goes to the cupboard and she takes off her top. And we see it from back and she puts on a shirt. She's going into Dreamway, she needs to wear a shirt. She looks at window, at bars, across the street and she sees Glenn's dad drinking outside. And leering, looking up on her at her and leering. And then when John Depp's mother says, no, he shouldn't stare, he's like, well, I have some theories about that Nancy. She's some kind of lunatic or something. So there's a guy looking at a fucking teenager in a night shirt, drinking a beer. You perverted fuck. Seriously, there's something wrong with that. And he bats away his wife's concerns and goes, I want a kid to hang around with our son anymore. It's like, well, fucking good. Nancy's probably better off. She really is bleeding through her dressing. That's a really shittily made dressing. You know, because you're meant to stop bleeding before they leave hospital, you know? Or give them new dressings. And it's the same fucking dressing. Arseholes. Anyway, Nancy puts on her jacket and tries to go outside, but her mother is, she steals a bottle of clear liquid from the towel cupboard and starts downing it. Jesus, that woman can drink. And Nancy's like, shit, I can't sneak past an alcoholic. As we all know all too well, alcoholics are very spry. John Depp's passed out on the bed, TV on his lap. Dude, you are going to get so much cancer from that. Nancy phones up and John Depp's mother answers and so like, don't ring here. But then says that she wants to talk to Glenn and John Depp's dad is like, no. And mother tries to be diplomatic, but father's like, no, you what? No. He keeps saying no over again. And he takes the phone. He's like, Glenn's asleep. Talk to him tomorrow and hands up. And then says, you got to be firm with these kids. That's all. Let's go. As a matter of fact, and he unplugs the phone. That doesn't seem very wise. He turns the light off and those two are going to have probably really angry sex, to be honest, because that guy comes across as a complete creep. Nancy's freaking out because she realises that John Depp's probably going to die. Not as in his career die, but he's actually going to die in this movie. And there's no way she can communicate with him because it's 1985. Oh no. Her phone rings and she answers. And it's... oh shit. Freddy Krueger somehow hacked her phone. And she freaks out. But sorry, wait, how does that work? Because you're not dreaming. How's Freddy got... and then she's broke her phone. I don't understand that. Can Freddy... is he like breaking down walls of reality or something? Because I know you can do that later on, but here it seems like the phone rings again. Nancy, don't pick up. It defies the laws of logic. The phone should not be ringing. You broke it. Firstly, it shouldn't be ringing because Freddy, if he can break down the walls to this extent, then why the fuck is he doing any of... why the fuck is he haunting you in your dreams? He can just cross over. And two, you broke the phone. It's not actually ringing. She answers anyway, like a dumbass, and he says, I'm your boyfriend now, Nancy. And he licks her face, and she throws the phone down and starts screaming. Which is an appropriate response, because, you know, that's for the villain of Fred. That's not for the villain. It's terrible, Fred. That's bad, Fred. Naughty Fred. Anyway, she tries to get out front door, but it's locked. Locked. And Nancy's mother is pissed on couch, going, locked. She locked her up. She had to. She's going to get some sleep if it kills her, and then she passes out. Nancy's like, give me fucking key. She's like, I don't even have it on me, see? Look, I ain't got shit. Nancy hits her mother, and we cut to John Depp's Star Spangled Banner plays on his headphones. He's still got TV on his dick. Don't do that. That's cancer. That really is. It's a radio station list who goes off here, and Freddie grabs him. He's all like, oh, you won't even have time to get cancer. And he pulls him into bed. And he's like, oh, fuck you, Johnny. As all the shit falls in bed. And John Depp starts getting stabbed. As Nancy screams, Glenn! And oh, the blood. The geisha of blood everywhere. Hits the ceiling like a fucking torrent, like a mini torrent, like a volcano eruption, blood everywhere. And I won't how police are going to frame this. John Depp's mother runs in the room, sees all blood, and is like, I don't understand. That doesn't make any sense. It's literally gushing everywhere. And it's mad. She runs out screaming as the cops pull up in the ambulance, and they're like, shit, we need to get a body. There isn't a body. Why are you pulling the stretcher out? You won't need a stretcher up there. You'll need a mop. There's a very, very useful cop stood nearby. And then stops being all urgent. Medic's like, let's go, because they need to take body for doing autopsy. John Saxon walks up and goes, don't tell me it's another one. And the lieutenant says, sorry, wake you, bud. Never seen anything like this before. And it's your neighbourhood, so I thought I'd be cool right away. This is a groundbreaking, iconic moment in horror. We need to certain moment. Nancy's looking at John Saxon's like, what's going on? He's sort of like, hello. She's like, hello. And then he's like, I'm going to go inside now. Bunch of nosy neighbours are outside. The cops have put bug out, capture blood. John Depp's dad is like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. He walks off, goes, oh my God, that's my son's blood. And then answers his phone. There's a call for John Saxon. It's his daughter. Ooh. He grabs the phone and he's all, Nancy, she asks about Glenn. What happened? No, she knew what happened. He goes, I haven't even been upstairs yet. I don't even know what happened. How the fuck do you know what happened? And she says, yeah, but you know he's dead, right? And he's like, yeah, apparently he's dead. No, apparently, wouldn't that be the first thing I'd fucking tell you? Nancy's like, I'll make a deal with you, Daddy. Now, she'll make a deal with him. She's going to go and get the guy who did it. But she wants him to be there to arrest him when he brings her out, okay? He's like, tell me who did it. And she says, Fred Krueger did it, Daddy. And then I get him. John Sasson's like, for fuck's sake. She wants the door broke down in exactly 20 minutes. How long's left? Ooh, 20 minutes including credits. You lie. This movie lies because credits take up something like 20 minutes. Apparently, it's this time enough for her to defeat him. And John Saxon's like, just go to sleep. And she's like, you'll be here, right? He'll be like, yeah, sure, I'll be there after I solve this fucking murder. Because Glenn's just died, Nancy. Glenn's dead. He blew up and says, oh, I love you. I got to solve this murder. He hands up the phone. It's like, for fuck's sake. He's like, look to a random cop. Go outside, watch my daughter's house. If you see anything funny, call me. Anything funny, like, well, I'm fucking not. I didn't write this movie. Just go out there. Tell her, keep an eye on her, sort this shit out. Nancy is creating Home Alone style traps. I guess this must be one of Kevin McAllister's favourite movies. She's doing a good job, actually. And I really like how proactive she is. She's not just waiting for Fred to do shit. She's trying to think ahead, almost, you know? It's quite a cool idea. Here's the point. Is this next sequence more violent or less violent than Home Alone? You know? Because, like, violence happening with Fred is disgusting, but also funny because he's basically a demonic entity from outside of time and space. Anyway, she sets up Sledgehammer on a string, as you do, and use this screwdriver hold in place, as you do. That doesn't seem very secure. And you've got an alcoholic mother in the house who'll probably get hit by all that. The coroner comes out, he's like, for fuck's sake, and walks downstairs. Fuck this shit. Fake news. John Saxon walks out, he's like, I can't believe this. What's going on? And Lieutenant's like, Lieutenant says that coroner's in bathroom puking his guts out, screaming it's much fucking bullshit, man. Fucking Agent Orange. Nancy's putting her mother to sleep because she's pissed as shit. Marcy insists that she's trying to protect Nancy. Nancy's like, I don't need protecting from an alcoholic, but thank you anyway. We get straight up confirmation that Nancy's gift is she faces Finn's head on. But Marcy says sometimes you have to turn away too. And then she grabs her bottle of alcohol and stops and puts it to the side. Yay! Character arc! Supporting characters with their own storylines. Yay! Oh, Nancy loves her mother and her mother loves her back. Oh, that's so adorable. It's a really nice scene. You know her mother's going to die horribly after this, but still a nice little sequence. Oh, man. Oh. So Nancy walks back over to the bars with her alarm clock and says, okay, Kruger, now I'm home. Home alone. I do love the shots by Fred Krueger. You literally have ambulances right outside and you're going to try and murder another teenager. He's such a dick. He really is such a complete douchebag. Nancy says, now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. Exit life. And tonight, take my hand. We're off to Never Neverland. Oh, do-the-do, do-do-do, do-the-do, do-do-do. And then very drunk man walks through an audience full of people drinking more, being almost falling over a lot, before wrestling a terrible wrestling match. Glenn's advice comes back as we get Nancy being told to turn her back on the evil. She's entered the dream. She's walking down the stairs, but she can't dream that she's wearing clothes that are more fashionable or having hair that's not grey. She looks a bit like Rogue here. She walks through the house and it's dark and it's empty because it's a dream. And she can't dream a little dream of him. She walks through a door and finds herself in the cellar area. She starts walking down it and finds herself in the cellar and water trickles. It's pretty light down here. She walks a bit and she's moves past some creepy ass mannequins and she finds a glove. Oh, very cool. In the background, a picture of dogs playing poker. Oh no, but the glove's gone. It's just the rag it was in. The door creaks. I love how Fred made sure that he went to get the glove, despite the fact that he already had a glove on. He knew that he had to stop Nancy using the glove. She walks through another door and descends further into pits of, Hell or Hades' realm or anything. Dante's Inferno. Tina's there. She says, Nancy. Freddy chuckles because he's a fucking pantomime villain. She descends further down the steps, hand rubbing along the wall. Tina says, oh, you dreamed about the same creep I did. As Freddy's sort of like, 1, 2, Freddy's going to get you. Ha! Nancy's like, oh, I can't put up with this shit. Can you just stop being so pantomime? And now she's in Boiler Room as Glenn's screaming, no, 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 as all voices of victims are resonating in Nancy's head. Freddy growl. Why would Freddy growl? She walks past some pipes as Freddy breathes heavily, apparently. Tina beckons Nancy over again. Nancy looks down and she sees nothing, a bunch of chains and a clock to gauge temperature. She descends a ladder very slowly and she reaches the bottom. No, she reaches bottom. We see her through some grates. That's quite a cool shot by Wes. And she's walking down dark hallway and she can't really make out what's there and what's not there. Her arm's itching a bit. So she asks for Kruger and we see a huge pipe and she's saying for Kruger she's here. I think Fred already knows you're here. We see random shots of pipes and Fred isn't anywhere to be seen. So she continues walking down dark hallway and she approaches some doors at far end, and she's still walking and walking. And there's a bunch of steam and shit, and she moves to touch it and thinks better of it. She doesn't want to wake up quite yet. It's quite a cool plan. She's got to drag him into the real world. I like that. It's quite clever. Walks past some more steam. Steamed ham, as you would put in popular parlance. She finds her crucifix from earlier. Oh shit. She looks at it reverently as Freddy sneaks from shadows and starts squeaking and rubbing his knife fingers along shit. And then it appears in foreground, Nancy's in background, slits his fingers, and then she goes back to the foreground and he's gone. Quite a really awesome shot. She continues walking, and this is quite tense, because Fred's there. She knows he's there. She doesn't know where, and he knows where she is, but he's taunting her. Very slowly and surely, so far in the background. Nancy picks up a pair of bloody headphones. They must be Johnny Depp's. She drops them and sees the fire burning. She continues to walk. I guess the implication is that he portrayed John Depp into the dream. She says that she wants him to show himself because he's a bastard. You're a bastard, Freddy. You're a bastard. Her watch beeps. It's shit. It's almost time for her to wake up. And Freddy gets drop on her, but she runs away. He chases her with that big stupid dad panto run. So she jumps and jumps out watering and lands in a rosebud in her garden. And now she's running asking where he is, but you've just jumped to a new location. It's going to take him a while to catch up. But she knows Fred is there somewhere. He's taunting her. She's trying to taunt him. Final 10 seconds of timer. Fred emerges from the rosebud and Nancy tackles him, grabs him and continues grabbing him. And she wakes up and he's not there. Oh shit. What was there instead was the rose garden fence that she fell into. She's pushed out and she's bleeding from her wound again. And she's really pissed off now because she didn't manage to bring Fred back with her into the present, to the real world. And she's very upset. And then she stops and thinks that she might be crazy after all. And Fred emerges. Oh shit! Fred emerges and he's in real world. And she smashes him with a coffee maker glass over the forehead. And Fred looks very, very angry. He grunts. And she starts setting up her traps as he bangs on the door and says, "It's on, Kruger." He tries opening the door because he's a fucking moron and doesn't think she planned ahead. Nancy says that she's got him, Dad. She's got him. Please, can your daddy come? But cops are like, no, it's all good. It's fine. She demands that he get the dad. But remember, she can't open the front door because it's locked. So she smashes the glass with an umbrella and calls out and says, he's here, Fred's here. Don't let him murder her too. And Fred finally manages to get the door open. There's a sledgehammer. Oh shit, hits him in the gut. And he saves it, but he's really winded. He falls downstairs. Fred falls downstairs. He's like, ah! He's so angry now. She says, "Can't you catch me, Fred?" She jumps over the couch and he says he's going to split her in two. That's really, really fucked up. So he runs at the couch, and they get shot in back with a dart, and a bunch of glass smashes him, and a fire bursts him in back. Nancy's like, for fuck's sake, Dad, come get me, because there's literally smoke. And someone gets drop on Nancy Fred, but no one can see him apart from Nancy, because they look where at least that moment. She runs down to the cellar, and she's setting up more of her traps. And Freddy says he's going to murder her slow, and she runs around the other way. And he's holding his gut, and she throws a bunch of piss and gasoline at him. And then, oh shit! She lights him on fire. No! Fred starts screaming and doing his dad wrong. He's like, no, I'll catch you before I burn to death. And she's like, no, you fucking won't. But he's like, I fucking will. I'm doing it. I'm going to run 100 meters on fire. And she smashes the door and he goes down the stairs again. You fucking teenagers. And she locks the door. She's like, I'm not going to do shit. Fred's like, no, I'm doing this. He's going slowly up the stairs. He's like, on fire. There's smoke everywhere. And John Saxon finally is sort of like, Nancy, why'd you set the house on fire? What are you doing? He runs towards it and literally smoke. He's like, Parker, get the fuck over here. And Parker's like, come on, guys, let's go. Let's go. Ow, Jim. As he's trying to break the door down. And he tries to smash the door down. And Parker's like, watch out, Lieutenant, we'll get it. And four of them try to break the door down. And they finally do. And Nancy's like, it's Kruger, Dad. It's Kruger. He's in the cellar. And they're all like, what the fuck is going on? The house is on fire. And they run down to the cellar. And they, oh shit. But Freddy's gone. Freddy's literally walked through the house. And he's gone up the stairs. Oh shit. Oh no. John Saxon and Nancy run upstairs and Nancy says he's after Mother, and Freddy is literally in bed choking Marcy to death, and Nancy smashes Fred with a chair from behind, but he's falling on Marcy and he's fire everywhere. And John Saxon pulls back the covers and it's just Marcy. He's been literally burned to death and he's pulled down as a skeleton hand raised up and she's pulled, somewhere? Limbo? Where the fuck is she being pulled? What is going on? I guess the implication is that John Saxon was not involved in Freddy's murder, but he knew they were and they weren't arrested for it. And John Saxon's asked if he believes so. He's like, I don't fucking know. He shuts the door. It's like, just fuck off. And he looks at Nancy and he's like, just give me a hug, Nancy. Just give me a hug. Just hug me, my child. And looks at her, he's like, I can't explain any of this, and I don't really want to. She asks him to go downstairs, and Nancy says she'll be back in a second. He's like, I don't know what's going on. Just, Lieutenant, he's asked if everything's all right, and he's like, I don't know. I just don't fucking know. Nancy knows Fred's going to come back, so she's like, I'd rather deal with this on my own. The door shuts behind Nancy. She turns back and looks at the bed, and there's nothing there. She slowly backs up towards the door. And she backs up, walks towards the door, walks towards the door. And, oh, Fred's emerging from bed. And Nancy's like, oh, for fuck's sake. I'm not even going to look at you. And Fred's like, oh, Nancy. He starts cutting up bed sheets and approaching her. And he's like, you think you was going to get away from me? But she says, I know you, Freddy. He approaches her, saying that she's going to die. But Nancy's like, it's too late. Oh, I'm not going to die. She knows the secret now. It's just a dream. You're not alive. And Fred's like, what? And she's like, whole thing's just dream. He's like, but wait, so it's a dream within dream within dream within dream? And when Nancy says she wants her mother and friends again, and Fred's like, what? Nancy's like, I take back every bit of energy I gave you. And Fred's like, that's not how it works. What are you talking about? Sequels, Nancy, the sequels. She says he's shit. He goes to stab her, and she reaches for the door, and he disappears to screaming. I love that Wes Craven clearly wanted this to be one and done. It's clearly was second came out was never going to be one and done. Nancy walks outside and it's bright and happy and her mother's alive. Oh, we're going to get a happy ending. Her mother feels a million butts. Oh, wow. She can't remember the night before. She's going to stop drinking. She doesn't feel like anymore. Oh, my heart is jumping beat. Oh, man. Nancy looks a little bit peaked, but she guesses she just slept heavy. Oh, man. Is this going to be a happy ending? Nancy looks... They look so happy. And the gang's all here. Tina, Rod, Johnny, Deb. Oh, man, they're all alive. Oh, they're so happy. But wait, the car is coloured like Fred Krueger. Well, sure, that's just a coincidence. But no, the car's driving itself. What? No. What's going on with the windows? Nancy bangs on windows and starts banging for her mother, who smiles and smiles. Wait a second. Fred Krueger's car! Nancy's mum keeps smiling. The car's Fred Krueger! It's creepy kids! The Fred Krueger gang! Oh no, Fred Krueger's grabbed Marcy! Oh no, she's pulled inside! The kids! You bet they didn't lock the door! Oh no! I think we're getting a sequel, guys. Shit. I don't know. I don't know what to say. Did any of that happen? What's going to happen next? What's the mystery of Fred Krueger? How can Fred Krueger do that? How can he do the things he did? Just don't I don't understand. Stuff happened with the people and Fred Krueger was the car, and then Fred Krueger was the mother, and then Fred Krueger pulled the mother inside the house. Dreams. Sure. Well, that was the first ever Christmas on Elm Street. I send all of your feedback to at Friday Night Shudder. At Friday Night Shudder for a few more days, and then past 1st of January at Friday Night Fright on Twitter. But yeah, send your comments. If you are on Anchor, leave them. If you want to leave a review on iTunes, fantastic. And I would do a post show on Friday. But until then, Merry Christmas, and that was definitely. Until next time, remember, life is beautiful.